Do not be deceived into thinking that Americans are deeply divided over gun policies. Johns Hopkins research shows the vast majority of people, whether they own guns or not, support universal background checks, testing requirements for concealed carry, and gun violence restraining orders. APM Research Lab's work shows a majority of gun owners and non-gun owners alike support red flag laws. A majority of gun owners support licensing for all gun purchases and safe storage laws. And America need not wonder how those laws might be applied. Just look at Colorado. We have more gun ownership than the national average, and we also have universal background checks, red flag, and safe storage. Marshall Zellinger starts us off tonight with Colorado's newly passed but little talked about gun legislation and why a ban on so-called assault weapons is not under consideration.
The moment after that shooting in Boulder, we didn't say we're going to do X, Y, and Z, this is our moment. We said we're going to listen to the community and the experts and do what we think is going to save the most lives.
Democratic Senate President Steve Fenberg represents Boulder. Following last year's King Soopers shooting, the legislature passed several gun-related bills. One prevented people with certain violent misdemeanors from passing a background check. Another bill gave local governments control on passing gun-related ordinances. It was in response to a judge overturning Boulder's ban on assault weapons.
It's going to look different in Boulder as it does in Denver versus Sterling or Grand Junction. And I don't think we should always rely on a state law to apply to all of those different communities. We could pass an assault weapon ban at the state level. I support that. But is that going to save the most lives? Probably not, given the fact that we are just one state. There are probably tens of thousands of assault weapons already here, and you can drive an hour and a half north and purchase them.
Democrats currently control the State House, Senate, and the governor's office. But with an election in November, did the Democrats miss their window to pass whatever they wanted while they could?
I actually think we have pursued what we think the experts tell us is going to save the most lives.
Just 2 months ago, the legislature passed a bill banning the open carry of guns within 100 feet of a polling place. I asked Fenberg what Democrats may try to pass if still in charge next year.
There could be more conversations around what are places that are sacred that we should not have mass killing weapons at because they intimidate people or potentially even put people in grave danger. There are conversations around who is liable after a horrible event occurs. I think that's been an ongoing legal conversation. It's something that I'm interested in discussing more. These policies, again, are only going to go so far unless they are paired with very significant investments in behavioral health.
Behavioral health, mental health. That's the area where Democrats and Republicans can perhaps work without as much conflict. Another bill passed in 2021 is the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. I'm working on getting more information about this office and what it's done so far in the year that it's existed. They're supposed to look at this situation with gun violence from a public health and from a data standpoint.
Yeah, which is something that the federal government has long been restricted from doing, looking at gun violence as a public health issue. It strikes me, Marshall, that either these efforts are reactive after something terrible happens, or there's an attempt to be proactive.
And I look at some of the bills as reactive or proactive. I didn't even mention lost and stolen firearms. You're supposed to report it if it's lost or stolen, and safe storage of firearms. But you find out about that after a crime has been committed. You find out someone perhaps didn't report their firearm stolen, or you find out after the fact, oh, it wasn't safely stored. So I consider some of that legislation, it's educational and gets people in a better practice, but usually they're charged after a crime has occurred.
Marshall, thank you.